and you end up dropping a couple of points today.
Again, I think you have a look at the picture, the overall picture. There was elements in the game that, again, pleasing. I thought we started the game very well. The game plan worked. We found spaces, we found holes, we scored a goal. Should have had another goal just on the stroke of half time. Second half, I thought the basics weren't in place again. We didn't land on second balls, we didn't put the ball in good areas, we weren't brave enough to go and move them around with the ball. And again, you get the second goal, they took Alan McCormack off, go and score the second goal, and then it's a case of that mindset, that 2-0 up. The players have known what it's like to win games 2-0 because we won the last three. Yeah. And again, but it's what the message we're trying to rate in the player. When you get a goal, work harder, get closer, tackle harder. When you get a second goal, step it up again, because it means that you're getting on top of somebody, but then you need to be respectful and you need to do more. What we didn't do, we allowed them to put hopeful balls forward. And again, you've got to say they went. If they're going to lose 2-0, they might as well lose 3-0. So they throw caution to the winds. They go and put 4, 5, 6 people in forward areas. So you've got to make sure when you do get the opportunity to retain possession, when you're breaking, you've got to hurt teams and you've got to be prepared to recycle the ball. If not, then the likelihood is they get a missed time header, a ricochet, and it can affect you. But pleasing thing is, players are in there disappointed.
I'm sure they are. Just to go back on a couple of things there you mentioned, you said the basics weren't in place at the start of the second half. What was going on there? Because after recent excellent performances and good wins, you'd have thought they'd have been right on the mark, right on the money.
We didn't get hold of the ball. We didn't get hold of the ball in the right areas. We didn't move the ball with tempo in the right areas. We didn't look for that forward pass, which is what we did very well in the first half. For a large majority of the first half, we did that very well. Second half, we found it difficult to get hold of the ball and make the right decisions, which does happen. But then sometimes, if your passing moves aren't on and people aren't available, put the ball in good areas, get us up the pitch and regroup. We took too many chances, too many loss of possessions, too many wrong decisions when we had time to get on the ball in midfield, move the ball quickly, get the ball into wide areas and then go and hurt them. We took an extra touch, sometimes took an extra pass rather than do the basic, get the ball, get it wide, hurt them.
But you had the 2-goal lead. We thought happy days, 4 consecutive 2-0 wins for the Cobblers. Then you cough up the lead. I've got to ask you this, Keith. People on Twitter tonight talking about maybe the Cobblers players lacking a bit of mental strength and therefore that was the reason they coughed up the lead in the way they did. What would be your answer to that? Would you point to the fact that at least one of Oldham's goals was fairly freakish?
Well, again, I think the deflection, I think Sam's defending against the lad. I think he's done well all afternoon. The lad goes to put a ball in. We've got four lads covering it, a goalkeeper in the set in the right position, but the deflection takes it in, loops over his head into the corner. So is that about mental strength? No, that's that freak. That's it can go anywhere. It can go another millimetre on Sam's knee, it goes out for a corner, or he blocks it. Another millimetre lands in Dye's hands, but we take that. The first goal's disappointing for me because we get the second goal and then we don't put enough pressure on the ball. Then it's a missed time header, not staying with runners in and around the box, and the lad has a snapshot. So again, is that about mental strength? No, it's about being attuned to what's required. It doesn't change if you're 1-0 up, 2-0 up, 3-0 up. Your basics have still got to be in place. And again, and that's something that we're trying to spread throughout the group. The demands we put on people. If somebody doesn't make the right pass, doesn't make the right decision with the ball, doesn't make the run, doesn't do what's required, they've got to be told. But on the pitch, and then what you find is that you get told, and you get 2, 3, 4 people telling you. Next time you get it, you make the right decision. And that's what we need to spread. And I think it is spreading, and it is working. And I think there's a difference from now when it's not just disappointment. It hurts, and it's not just sad faces and people not making eye contact and putting their head down. You can tell there's a genuine frustration in that changing room because we need to win games. We need to get in the top 7. We want to operate in the top 7, and we want to kick on.
You mentioned Alan McCormack in your first answer. He's a good pro. He was obviously frustrated to be taken off in the second half. Was that because he was tiring a little bit? Was that the reason you took him off?
Well, again, I've got a plan for Macca. I think it's been well documented his previous record of games. We know firsthand the amount of games that he hasn't played for us, and the important thing is I need to rack up performances and I need to rack up appearances for Maka. And again, Maka fully understands it. If you give Maka his choice, he would play every game for 90 minutes.
Yep.
He'd play reserve games, first team games, charity games, testimonials, anything where he could go out and play football. He wants to get out there and play. Put him in a game, he wants to play 90-95 minutes. I know that, but then likewise there's a respect there that's between myself and Maka, that I make decisions that in my mind are the best for him, and sometimes he's not going to like it, and I fully understand that. But just because a player wants to stay on the pitch, it's not going to change my mindset and the decision making process that I've got. I need Alan McCormack available for games.
Let's finish on a few positives. There were plenty today before you consider those 2 late goals. First league goal in Cobblers colours for Matty Warburton. Andy Williams breaking his drought with a goal there to make it 2-0. And it is 4 unbeaten. It's just 1 away defeat now in 6. So I imagine, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I imagine you'll take a fair bit from this game.
Yeah, I think there's lots to take from the game. But again, if you don't win, you learn. And again, that's the message that we've said to the players. We've travelled this road before. We have been 2 goals up before, and let me tell you, it's annoying, it's frustrating, but we're a group that are prepared to learn, prepared to take criticism and develop that understanding that's required for improvement. Right, we're not in the top 7 yet, but the aim is there, the ambition's there, and the hunger's there.
Just on that point, finally, you talked about travelling this road before. Do you think it played on your players' minds when it went to 2-1 that they'd been in this position before and they'd coughed up a 2-goal lead? Or don't you think that entered their heads? It entered at your head, Keith?
I know what it's like as being a professional footballer, and it doesn't matter if you're a League 2, Championship, Premier League, international player. When you've recognised and you've seen things happen before, does it cross your mind? Yeah, it's massive. But again, what we're doing, we're giving the players answers of what we need to do. And again, it's not just taken on board individually; it's collectively. I thought we need to play higher up the pitch, and we need to have confrontation. We have lines of retention higher up the pitch. The more goals we score, because if the teams be conceding goals, they're hurting. And again, so we've got to stop them putting balls forward with quality. And again, it was too easy for the ball they put forward for their first goal.
Thanks very much for your time, Keith.